Welcome back to Quick Take Charge. I'm Tim Stenovic.
And I'm Jennifer Zabasajja in New York. And over in Minneapolis, a fortified city awaits Derek Chauvin's verdict. The jury in the case has now begun deliberations for the day of the former Minneapolis police officer accused of killing George Floyd. And now more than 3,000 National Guard soldiers, along with police officers, state police, sheriffs, deputies, and other law enforcement personnel have flooded the city. We're checking in with Bloomberg News' Fola Akinobi, who's on the ground in Minneapolis for us now. Fola, thanks so much for being with us this morning. First of all, tell us what it's like there where you are.
Right. So down the street at the Hennepin County Courthouse, I mean, it looks like you said, like a fortified city. There's extensive, fencing and barriers. It looks almost like a military base, and you can see the giant sort of military vehicles there and the National Guard presence. But so far, it's been fairly subdued outside of the courthouse. There was there's a gathering with a few hundred people yesterday that was obviously peaceful and a march, but not the same police presence and police clashes that we've seen in neighboring Brooklyn Center. So, relatively subdued so far.
Fola, does it feel like it's an appropriate amount of force? Does it feel like the security there at this point is warranted? The images that I've seen don't make it look like the Minneapolis that I know.
Yeah, I mean, what the city is planning for has not materialized here on the ground. And so, I mean, it does seem like they've taken, I guess, more precaution. It looks like, again, akin to a military base here. And I'm just not sure what exactly the city and the governor are expecting from protesters.
And Fola, I mean, deliberations have begun today, as we mentioned. What should we be expecting to hear? I mean, what do we know at this point, what we might hear today and what may drag on throughout the week?
So, when the judge gave instructions and as he's sort of warned jurors, they should pack long and pack for up to a week. But, it could come in today. It could come in at the end of the week. It's really hard to say.
How do you prepare for something like this from a reporting perspective, given that it could come at any moment or you could be there for days?
I'm trying to dress warm, Tim. I'm just trying to dress warm and be in touch with as many people as I can be on the ground. But I'm in limbo as well. So,
what are you hearing from the people that you've been in touch with? What are you learning from them?
So, the people I've talked to on the street here in Minneapolis are, everyone is on pins and needles. Everyone is worried. They are worried about what could happen as well if the verdict doesn't, if Chauvin himself is not convicted. At the same time, the people on the ground are concerned as well and waiting just like us.
And Fola, can you just tell us about these charges that Chauvin is facing? I know they're each going to be deliberated separately, but can you tell us a little bit more specifically about some of these charges and what has been presented at this point in time?
Yeah, so the second-degree murder and third-degry murder, I believe, require proof of intent, and those may be what hold up what hold up jury here and what hold up deliberations. The second-degree manslaughter charge does not, I believe, require proof of that intent. So, there's a possibility that one of these come in and the other ones don't, and it's hard to say at this point.
Fola, nobody can predict the future, but I'm wondering about potential anti-riot measures that could come in the wake of this, not just in Minnesota, but I'm thinking about what happened in Florida recently, where Governor Ron DeSantis, a Republican, a staunch ally of former President Trump, of course, signed a bill on Monday to create tougher penalties for people who participate in violent protests. Do you see this happening in other parts of the country?
So we've seen some red state, like you said, governors and mayors tried to take steps to curb these sorts of protests. And in New York last summer as well, there have been complaints of brutality and of excessive force from the police response to these protests. So, it's a jurisdiction by jurisdiction sort of a basis. Here in Minneapolis, it seems like there have been directions, and at least with the demonstrations yesterday, there were not any clashes with police, right? So it seems like there have been instructions to maybe not there's been extra prodding for police and law enforcement not to use force, right? Because we've seen the images from Brooklyn Center, and again, I mean, they don't look good, right? So
right.
I think they're trying to avoid that in Minneapolis here as well.
Fola, we really appreciate you taking the time and joining us from Minneapolis today. Bloomberg News' Fola Akinobi. Thanks again for your time.